Dealing with depression. As with yesterday's anxiety video, I'm more than aware that there are different considerations, chemical imbalances in the brain, etc., that may not have benefit from what I'm about to talk about. But again, I'm more than aware that these things are nearly always multifactorial and that some of the stuff I may cover may lead to some degree of benefit. And from countless conversations over the years, from my experience, what often contributes or adds to people's reduced mood, reduced satisfaction, frustrations, and potentially depression is unmet expectations. When our reality doesn't match our blueprint, that leads down the path of frustration, despair, maybe onto depression. And when we can challenge both our reality and perhaps more importantly, our blueprint, our expectations of reality, we can often lead to a balance that works better for us. Because often our expectations of other people, the world, and how things should work are setting us up for that frustration. Because our expectations are probably never going to be met. And when I say that, it doesn't mean a lowering of expectations. It means, as I talked about in the Serenity Prayer yesterday, a degree of acceptance as to just what is. You know, politicians will behave in a certain way. The world will be a certain way. Maybe some of those things can be changed. Maybe we're the person to do it. Maybe we're not. Maybe sometimes we can just accept that people will do certain things. People will behave in a certain way. People will let us down. And maybe we can accept as well that often our expectation of their behaviour has not even been verbalised to them, let alone fully agreed. If someone else behaves in a way that causes us angst and frustration and difficulty, but they've never agreed to behave in a different way, we've set ourselves up to some degree for that by creating that expectation of the situation. So, gaining some degree of acceptance over just what is, looking to change the things that we can, and maybe alongside it, looking to change the inputs that can contribute towards the output of how we feel, can be an invaluable approach. You know, I know it's not the entirety of it, but I don't think in 20 years of doing this, I've never met anyone who has started to increase the quality of their eating. They've eaten better in some way and started exercising regularly for a sustained period of time who hasn't felt considerably better for it. I know sometimes it feels like the last thing that we can do or want to do, but that doesn't mean that if we were to do it when we didn't feel like doing it, it wouldn't lead to an increase in mood and how we feel further down the line. So that's a few considerations for you. Is to some degree our negative or low mood contributed to by our unmet expectations? Are those expectations realistic? Were they ever verbalized to the relevant people? Were they ever agreed? Were they ever likely to happen? Could setting more realistic expectations of the world and what's going on not lower those standards, but actually free up our mental capacity and mood in order to change the things that we can?